In this video, we will see 7 places on Earth that remain science mysteries, scanned 24 hours a day by satellites and crisscrossed by adventurers. The Earth nevertheless conceals totally mysterious places. A volcano that continuously spits mud, forests of ghost trees, strange circles in which no vegetation grows. These scientific puzzles are as beautiful as they are strange. 1. Fairy circles in Namibia. Dotted across the arid grasslands of the Namib Desert, these circles 2 to 15 meters in diameter form giant holes in the vegetation. The most diverse hypotheses circulate on their origin: a radioactive soil, the work of termites having devoured the roots of the plants to allow the water to be absorbed by the sand, or the competition between the plants which self-organize around water resources by forming these unusual circular shapes. Not to mention the hypothesis of an alien landing or the marks of a divine march. Other fairy circles were discovered in 2016 in the Australian desert, without a convincing explanation having been able, again, to be found to solve the scientific enigma. 2. The albino forest in California. A grim forest of white ghosts looms along the California coastline in Big Basin redwoods or Humboldt redwoods national parks. These redwoods have not been victims of chemical pollution or acid rain. They are albino, devoid of chlorophyll, which gives their green color to other plants. But how can these white sequoias survive without photosynthesis? According to Zane Moore, a student researcher at the University of California, these trees are sort of chimeras, the albino branches taking advantage of the resources of the green branches. In return, the albino parts sequester the heavy metals which poison the soil and would normally result in the death of trees. Here is a possible explanation for this scientific conundrum. 3. The most puzzling scientific enigma, the giant Watigiko crater in Siberia. The Yakuts nickname it Gate of Hell. The crater of Watigiko appeared in the 1960s in northern Siberia and today stretches almost a kilometer long and 86 meters deep. It continues to widen at the rate of 10 to 30 meters per year, making weird and frightening sounds. The depression began when much of the forest was cleared, leaving the soil vulnerable and weakened by warming, which melted the permafrost and resulted in collapses. The phenomenon is all the more worrying as it risks releasing pockets of methane trapped in the ground, liable to give rise to explosions. As it is enlarged, the crater reveals archaeological remains and fossils dating back more than 200,000 years, such as the corpse of a prehistoric horse, a muskox or a mammoth. 4. The terrestrial magnetic hole of the Atlantic. The South Atlantic Magnetic Anomaly cluster is a gaping breach in the magnetic shield that protects Earth from cosmic particles. This vast area stretching from Chile to Zimbabwe covers nearly 7.8 million square kilometers and continues to grow. A hole which causes disturbances in communication and space observation satellites, but the origin of which remains unexplained. It could be a magnetic flux from the movements of molten rock in the Earth's core, made up of liquid iron, or the beginning of magnetic pole reversal, which occurs every 400,000 years on average. If this were the case, this kind of breach could multiply and cause big problems for health or for commercial flights. 5. The Dallol hydrothermal field in Ethiopia. Temperatures reaching 45 degrees Celsius in the middle of winter, geysers of boiling water, greenish lakes whose acidity can take negative values, rising toxic gases, blistered concretions loaded with sulfur. Here is another scientific enigma. The Dallol hydrothermal vents in the Dallol Desert in northern Ethiopia are one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. At 160 meters below sea level, this aerial volcano is the lowest on the planet. Covered by a thick layer of salt, it is devoid of any form of life except a few primitive archaea. A concentrate of extremes studied by scientists to understand the emergence of life on Earth. 6. The mud-breathing volcano in Indonesia. For 12 years, the Lusai volcano, in the east of the island of Java in Indonesia, relentlessly spits the equivalent of 25 Olympic swimming pools of mud per day. Is not that, there too, a beautiful scientific enigma? A phenomenon unique in the world, which would be the consequence of a gas drilling which would have pierced an aquifer under high pressure. Another hypothesis is an earthquake which would have liquefied the sediments. Unlike all other mud volcanoes, which eject their mixture intermittently, the mud flow here is continuous and is unlikely to dry up for at least decades, scientists say. In the meantime, the flood of mud has already displaced 60,000, dries up the fields and pollutes the river. The volcano also emits toxic gases, which can ignite at any time, and stones. '7. Hillier's Pink Lake in Australia. The dense green forest and the deep blue of the Indian Ocean provide a stark contrast to the fuchsia pink of Lake Hillier, located on the edge of Middle Island in southern Australia. The pink color of this lake, 600 meters long and 250 meters wide, has long held scientists in suspense, unable to determine with certainty the source of this strange color. According to researchers from the Extreme Microbiome Project, XMP, the strange coloration of the lake is ultimately the combination of two phenomena. On the one hand, the accumulation of a microalga, Dunaliella, which uses beta-carotene for its photosynthesis, and on the other hand, the presence of a halobacterium that appreciates saline environments and gives the salt a color strawberry. Despite appearances, the water is not toxic and offers perfect conditions for swimming.